5 reasons why Linux beginners should be using Flatpak. On Windows, applications are most commonly installed through executables downloaded from the internet, but on Linux, that's done through packages. While packages are treated quite similarly to software you can find and install on Windows, package management can be a significant hang-up for new users of Linux because of things like dependencies, distro-specific quirks, and version control. Flatpak solves a lot of the gripes new users will have with Linux package management and more. It's a universal app packaging format that runs across nearly every Linux distro, keeping software consistent, up-to-date, and most importantly, isolated. Works across a large selection of distros. Your distro of choice is probably supported. One of Flatpak's biggest strengths is its universality. It works across virtually every major Linux distribution, right out of the box. Fedora, Linux Mint, Pop!_OS, Bazzite, and Nobara all ship with Flatpak pre-installed and enabled by default. Even Ubuntu, which traditionally pushes its own snap format, supports Flatpak through a single install command. This means developers can publish one version of their app that will work across many different distros, regardless of what's under the hood. It has especially helped me, as someone who distro hops quite frequently. My Flatpak installs behave exactly the same no matter which distro I happen to be on. No need to worry about dependencies. Solves one of the biggest pains of package management. If you've used Linux for any significant amount of time, there's a good chance you've run into some kind of dependency issues. Installing one package that demands a different version of some shared library that, when changed, breaks something else. It can be a huge drag to deal with manually, but this is one of the problems Flatpak was built to solve. Instead of relying on whatever library versions your distro happens to include, Flatpak packages bring their own environment, known as a runtime. These runtimes are pre-built collections of libraries and dependencies maintained separately from your system. This sandboxed, self-contained design completely eliminates version conflicts and makes software so much more predictable. It also doesn't stack these runtimes across apps. If one library is shared by multiple apps, it doesn't store duplicates of them, saving space. FlatHub centralizes everything. There are other software hubs, but FlatHub is for Flatpaks. FlatHub is basically an app store for Flatpaks, and for new users, this means one reliable place to get almost everything. From open-source apps like GIMP and LibreOffice to proprietary software like Discord, Spotify, and Zoom, it's all in one searchable catalog. FlatHub is supported by most of the popular desktop environments, namely GNOME and KDE, so you can easily install it if it's not included with your distro. If the command line is more your speed, Flatpak CLI is clean and powerful. A perfect match for immutable distros. Another victory for Linux newcomers. Immutable distros like Fedora, Silverblue, and Bazzite are changing how those new to Linux dive in for the first time. Their core system files are read-only, meaning you can't easily install or modify system packages directly. This architecture makes them nearly impossible to break, but it also means you need a different way to manage applications. Flatpaks are tailored perfectly for this type of distro, since it provides the apps you need in user space without needing to change system packages directly. This separation of system and user layers keeps your machine stable and clean. It's the reason Fedora, Silverblue, and Bazzite ship with Flatpak as their default app solution. Simple rollbacks and version control. Perhaps the biggest strength of Flatpaks. One of Flatpak's most underrated features is how it handles updates and rollbacks. Every time you update an app, the old version isn't deleted or overwritten. Instead, it is kept as a snapshot, so if the new version misbehaves, you can easily roll back to the previous version. This kind of safety net is pretty rare when it comes to Linux package managers, especially when an update replaces file permanently. For Linux newcomers that are worried about breaking something, Flatpak can be a big confidence booster. Flatpak isn't great for everything or everyone. Flatpak isn't perfect. Apps can take up a bit more space and system integration isn't always flawless. For example, Installing Steam as a Flatpak can lead to issues with accessing a game library and Proton versions on other hard drives, but for most other apps, the trade-offs are often more than worth it for beginners. You get safer installs, simpler updates, and consistent app access no matter which Linux flavor you're running. If you're trying Linux for the first time, make Flatpak your default package manager.